you stuck in your house with nothing to do? Erin is here to bake with you. Quarantine Baking with Erin.
Hi, and welcome to Quarantine Baking with Erin. Today we will be making pumpkin bread. You might notice that I am in a new place. A lot has changed since the last Quarantine Baking with Erin video, but I'm happy to be baking and back in the saddle and ready to eat a bunch of sugar because 2020 is crazy, am I right? All right, so as I said, we're making pumpkin bread, and I'm going to try and be better about preheating the oven. So we'll scoot on over here to a crisp 350. That's something in Celsius. And I've already greased this recipe. Oh, forgot what cooking book I'm using. I'm using the Better Homes and Gardens new cookbook. It's the 12th edition, if you're wondering. I think we got it as a wedding present, and it is like good for like standard classic recipes. Okay, so this makes 2 loaves, but I only have 1 bread pan, so we're gonna make a loaf of pumpkin bread and then as many pumpkin muffins as we have leftover batter. Okay, so we preheated our oven, and now we are going to mix our, what are we gonna mix? We're gonna mix sugar. We're gonna mix 3 cups of sugar. It is that kind of pumpkin bread. So even though it's a bread with a vegetable involved, it is, you know, not for the faint of heart. So 2 cups sugar. Straight into the mixer. Another cup sugar. My poor mom wanted me, I don't know if she wanted me to be a scientist, but I'm sure that after watching how I measure things, she's probably grateful that I went to law school. Okay. 3 cups sugar, then I've got my cup of cooking oil. As it's quarantine baking, I'm just trying to use whatever I have. So I've got some sunflower oil. That's kind of earthy, so hopefully it'll go well with this recipe. Why not? Okay, so I'm gonna mix this together, and then in the meantime, I'm going to get 4 eggs, which I forgot to lay out. Zhuzh that together real quick. And then we're just gonna crack in 4 eggs. I'm really happy in this apartment because I have my own like baking station, which is pretty exciting. All right, that was 1, 2. It really helps me to count out loud because I forget. 3. Also, that's a good thing about eggs, is you can just count the eggshells, I guess. And 4. Okay, so that's fine. That's mixed together. And then we're gonna mix our dry ingredients, which we'll start with 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. I was thinking, would I make this with a whole wheat flour? Probably not. I've made a few things with whole wheat flour since flour has been hard in quarantine. And if it's not specifically a whole wheat flour recipe, I'm trying to trust the recipes more and not just make whatever substitutions I want on a whim. Although at the same time, you know, I'm still gonna do me. But yeah, I would make this with not whole wheat flour. So 3 cups of all-purpose, 2-ish cups. I need one of those giant, like 4-cup measuring cups, but that's all right. That's probably a cup. probably a cup. Oh, it's 3.5. Dang. Okay, keep it coming, keep it coming. More flour. Probably half a cup. All right, that's 3.5 cups flour. And then I know we're gonna mix in 2 teaspoons of baking soda, not powder. So we'll do 2 teaspoons. Just make sure that's strong. 1, 2. All right, and then a little bit of salt. You know how I like to measure salt. It's a more accurate way of saying that. I'm just gonna, okay, that's way too much salt. Put the excess in there. And then it says a teaspoon of cinnamon and nutmeg. This was our, like, we're moving, we're kind of sad about moving, but we're gonna get a giant spice rack. So I'm so happy to have this giant spice rack. I'm obviously not gonna measure. We're gonna put some cinnamon in. We're gonna put some nutmeg. One of these days I'm gonna get bored enough to alphabetize that, but we haven't alphabetized this, but we haven't quite got that bored yet. Nutmeg, nutmeg, nutmeg. All right, some nutmeg. There's our oven being preheated. I always think that you can't go wrong adding pumpkin pie spice to a pumpkin bread, or really anytime I'm putting cinnamon in something, I'm putting in pumpkin pie spice. It's a great spice. Are we gonna do cloves? We're gonna stay away from cloves. I've been eating a lot of clovey things lately, so we'll cool it for the cloves this time. Is that all? Anything else? All right. So we've got our sugar, oil, what else is in here? Egg mixture. And then we've got our dry ingredients mixture. And then we've got 2/3 of a cup of water. Where does the pumpkin go in? Not yet, okay. So we're going to alternatively mix in the flour and this water. So, some flour. It's been so long since I made a video, so this is just joyful. A little bit of water. Oops. You know. I wonder if the ingredients say slowly. Water. Alright, almost there. That's the slowest setting, so I can't help the fact that I'm making a mess. It's not my fault. Okay, and then, alright. Then we're going to use a 15-ounce can of pumpkin. This is a 29-ounce can of pumpkin. So we're just going to put in half. Maybe I should have gone into a career of sound effects. All right. I'll just put these apparatuses. Apparati? Isn't apparatus one of those words that's like singular and plural? Not like that. Apparatuses? It doesn't matter at all. All right, we've got our beautiful pumpkin mix. I'm gonna turn that off. Still getting used to my baking workspace. All right. It's a beautiful color. I have a jumpsuit basically in this color. It's one of my favorite things to wear. All right, making a mess, making a mess, making a mess. Make sure that it's incorporated from the sides of the bowl. And I've already greased these with sunflower oil. So we'll go about 2/3 up, I think. somewhere between 2/3 and 3/4 because it's gonna rise. And then should I get a scoop since we're gonna do giant muffins? I'm gonna get a scoop, which is in here. When you move, or when I move, everything's in a new plate, so I have no idea where anything is. All right, we're gonna scoop out some muffins. Have I made other things in this apartment? The problem, well, I've made a few blueberry pies, but I do the same thing every time, so it's not worth like making a video for like blueberry pie number 6, blueberry pie number 8. And then I made scones the other day with a new healthy scone recipe. Maybe I'll make a video. They were really good. You substitute some of the butter for Greek yogurt, which I think made the scones nicely moist. I know people don't like that word. That's what the scones are like. I gotta tell the truth. All right, almost there. Get that out. Whew. Making a mess. Friends along the way. I don't know if I talk to myself more in quarantine or if this is just how I've always been, but now I'm just spending more time by myself. I talk to myself a lot. Okay, got a mess. That's why we have an apron. We're gonna put this into the oven. I think the little muffins can go right by them. Sometimes I would put maybe like sugar in the raw on top, but this recipe has a lot of sugar inside, so I think it's gonna be okay. And full intention, my mother-in-law Tony made some out of this world peach jam, which is basically the only reason we're making pumpkin bread as a conduit for this peach jam. So I don't think I'm gonna put any more sugar on top. Let me check the cooking time. Bake 55 minutes. It's a long time. I'm gonna do 45 because we have the muffins, so I'm gonna check in on those. See how covered my hands are in pumpkin. Timer, 45. And we'll check back in. Timer's gone off. Got this little lobster claw from IKEA. Definitely done. Beautiful. A little dark, but that's okay. And then this could use 10 more minutes, but you don't need to watch me take it out of the oven. We'll be back for the final verdict.
All right, it's time for the final verdict. I'm gonna do a bite without the peach jam, and then a bite with. I have missed pumpkin bread.
Have I made you pumpkin bread?
Good. This is so good. Wow. I'm very happy we have this. Let me try the jam. The jam we know is perfection.
How's the combo? Like it's meant to go together? All right, I'm gonna come in. All right, I'm trying. The texture feels right.
It's really fantastic pumpkin bread. It'd be great with some butter too.
Yeah, I do love pumpkin bread. It reminds me of my Aunt Jane, who would make mini pumpkin muffins, and then I would eat all of them.
Nice.
Until my tummy hurt.
That's what eating's about. Making your tummy hurt.
Oh, wow. I mean, this jam is fire, but it is really good with pumpkin bread.
They just work.
I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
I think it could use the slightest bit more salt just to like give it a little bit more
panache.
Yeah, a little, yeah, something that salt does. That's what I could use.
Saltiness.
Bye.
Well, are you stuck in your house with nothing to do? Erin is here to bake with you. Quarantine Baking with Erin.